Are live. Welcome to the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. Joining me today, I've got my two lovely co-hosts and a brand new guest. Why don't you three introduce yourselves?
Hey, it's Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's.
Yo, it's Mac, and you can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFiend. That's FIEN. And as I messaged our guest to invite him to come on here, I told him that we would keep it a little PG-13. We wouldn't curse as much, and he said, "Fuck that." He's like, "If I'm joining you guys, I want to talk shit." So why don't you, but without any further ado, why don't you introduce yourself?
What is up? Yeah, my name's Joseph or Joe Camo. I have a YouTube channel called the Cardinal Rule. And yeah, I keep it kind of PG on there, mostly because I have audience of all age and because ad revenue is impacted. But since I'm on your podcast, fuck that shit.
Let's go. I'll drink to that. What are you guys drinking tonight?
What you got, Joe?
I got Dr. Robot. It is a blackberry lemon sour. I got the bougie microbrew local craft beer here.
No, I think I got the bougiest one. I've got a Malibu cocktail strawberry daiquiri made with Caribbean rum.
Man.
I'm drinking water.
And
that's you had some energy drink.
I already had an energy drink. I'm not trying to die.
Oh, okay.
Is Will our designated potter? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Depends on if it's Potter or Pothead. I don't. That could be me, or that could be who knows.
No, that's you.
Yeah. Okay. So, I just recently got engaged, so I'm trying to lose weight. Our wedding's next year, so I am drinking Coors Original right now. The IPAs just, they ain't working with this. So, yeah. So I got a couple Coors Originals in the keg. I don't have a keg, but in case the fiance is listening and maybe wants to get a Christmas gift that she's trying to think of.
Kegerator.
There's a hint. There you go. But before we move on, it's a pleasure to have you on. I know right now you're probably like the hottest thing Cardinals related.
Right.
So thank you for joining us.
Not nearly as hot as the injury report.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Jesus.
I had to bookmark that one, and we'll get into everything Cardinals momentarily. But having Joe on, we definitely want to learn a little bit more about him. So, do either of you guys have any questions, maybe?
So tell us about your history as a Valley sports fan. What got you into these teams? And yeah.
Yeah, a penchant for misery is what got me into them. No, I was born in Mesa, Arizona, so I'm an Arizona native. I spent part of my childhood in California, about 10 years, but lived in Arizona from 1987 till 2008 when I moved to Texas to go to grad school, and then moved to Georgia in 2013 for my career. So I'm a hometown kid, and when I started getting into sports as a teenager, these were the teams, right? The local Arizona teams. I lived in Arizona when the Cardinals moved there because I'm old as fuck. So I've been a fan. I like to say I've been a fan since the Cardinals moved there. I wasn't really, I was like 13. I'm just telling exactly how old I am. So I didn't really follow sports a ton, so I was kind of a fan. In the early 90s is when I really started following football closely enough to really get into it and started watching the draft, religiously. Been a Suns fan forever. Having lived in California, I was an Oakland A's fan originally, and then the Diamondbacks, came about as a team, and then I was a fan of them. I'm just, the Cardinals are the team I follow most closely than the Suns. So, I'm just one of those people who's been following this team as long as I've been into sports, and I've got this nerdy kind of approach towards it where I just really kind of pay attention to roster building in the draft, and So, I'm just kind of one of those guys who's all in on this stuff.
Hell yeah, brother.
Did you have a favorite Cardinal in the early '90s? I know for me, my first favorite Cardinal was Johnny Johnson, the running back.
I remember him. They drafted him running back, and then he ended up going to the Jets and drafted him the same year. What's his name? Emmitt Smith was drafted, I think, wasn't he?
Okay, but, I did not know that. Nice.
Yeah, he, one of those was a little bit better, but I remember Johnny Johnson. I mean, Larry Centers was, really kind of an underrated player. Adrian Wilson, I know he's not old school, but that's one of my favorite Cardinals of all time.
Yeah,
just love that dude. Yeah, I remember when they drafted him, I think in the 3rd round. Really big fan. I like Darnell Dockett. He was always fun. I thought he was a good player. Some of those guys. Jake Plummer's an interesting one. I mean, I know he's kind of quirky, and he didn't end up being as big of a deal as people had hoped he would be. But again, I'm old, so I remember, Jake Plummer was this big deal at Arizona State University, took him to the Rose Bowl, I think lost, but still took him to the Rose Bowl. And he was already a local legend. And then the Cardinals drafted him in the 2nd round, and it was one of these just kind of momentum, kind of, all the stars aligning, and it just seemed like he was going to be the hero and that first great quarterback we had as an Arizona Cardinal. And he didn't live up to that, but that he was an interesting player to follow. So, Jake Plummer there, and obviously, I mean, this isn't old time, but Larry is the legend, right? Larry Fitzgerald.
Right.
So, those are some of those players from the early eras. Neas Williams, Brian. In the chat, Eloan, he's a really great supportive of the channel. He's mentioning Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams was
one of my
definitely
favorite
a great
all
one
time.
too.
Yep,
for sure.
Yeah, no, I credit Jake Plummer to kind of that first real influx of local fandom here that weren't just football diehards who you got the team here in the late '80s and you sat out in the 1 p.m. September sun. It was once Jake Plummer did what he did at ASU, took him to the Rose Bowl, and then getting drafted here, and then he had a fantastic rookie season. He put up numbers for a bad football team, and that's just excitement. Like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about. I need another drink of beer, but yeah,
he was an exciting player, and he took him to the first playoff game. And if you aren't an Arizona fan who was living here at the time, you might not understand what that energy was like in the Valley. Right, this guy who was already kind of a local legend getting drafted, right?
And it was beating the Cowboys as well in the playoffs.
Beating the Cowboys, right?
Yes!
Yeah, for sure, right? And so I'm going to tell you a little story. This is my kind of Cardinals old school, reminiscent moment. When they went to the playoffs and beat the Cowboys, they were flying home after that game. And they kind of announced on the radio station, hey, if you want to go greet the Cardinals, go down to, Sky Harbor Airport to this one lot out here by the edge of, or this dirt lot out by the edge of the airport.
Yeah.
And meet them. So I went out there with, a couple thousand of my closest friends, right? And we're out there. I don't know how many people were out there, but they pulled the plane up and they had like a kind of a platform there. And I was there with this crowd that was just greeting, the Cardinals and the coaches. And, I think some John McCain, I think, was there, some local kind of people of prominence. And, it was just kind of one of those cool moments to have been there for.
Oh, nice. That's an awesome story. Yeah. Did you go to when the Suns were in the finals? Did you go downtown after the finals? Do you remember that? What, 93?
I did not go downtown for that. No, but I mean, obviously I remember, when they were in that finals, watching that. But I didn't. I stayed away from that craziness. Yeah.
That was probably smart.
Of our 3 rivals in our division, who do you hate the most?
Of our our 3 rivals in the division, it's probably San Francisco. Just kind of something about them. Yeah, I mean,
ever since the '90s, it was the Niners and the Cowboys. Sun Devil Stadium will just get flooded with. I mean, they get flooded with all opposing fans, but. Those 2 teams, growing up, those 2 stuck in my mind. I'll always hate them.
Yeah, yeah. Though I will say the team I hate the most is the Cowboys. Just
same, Joe. Same.
Amen.
See, I've only ever known them as a joke, so I don't have that perspective.
They're harmless.
I got family
right?
that are diehard Cowboy fans, and it's annoying.
I'm completely ambivalent on the Dallas Cowboys.
So when I went to grad school, I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I was in grad school. And I was teaching classes as like a graduate assistant or whatever, teaching classes, and I would sometimes in my lectures just take little pot shots at the Cowboys in middle of Cowboy fan country. The students they were good sports about it. But
what's the last Cards game you've been to?
I went to the Jacksonville game actually in Jacksonville last season.
Nice.
So you got to watch the punt or the kick?
So, okay, I didn't get to watch. So here's the deal. I took my son, who's 7 years old, to his first game. And listen, I know some people say this is bad parenting, but I have not tried to force my team onto my kids. So I've been like, if you want to get into football, cool. If there's a team you want to follow, cool. My older son was actually born in Texas, so he's like, well, what's the team closest to where I'm at? I'm like, the Cowboys?
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody, right? But he's like, no, I think I like the Carolina Panthers because they like cats. And my younger son, I know, but and then my younger son, he's like, I think I like the Jaguars, because they both like cats. So I took my younger son to the Jaguars game, and it was so fucking hot, and my son's 7, and we're sitting there, and the seats aren't covered. It was just. And then, like, our seats were, like, really good seats. Like, I don't know if you saw, I took a video of, like, when Kyler did that kind of Buddha sort of, kind of celebration. I have a video on my channel that I took with my footage, and you can see, like, some of the Jaguars fans flipping him the bird and stuff. It's great. I was right there in the end zone. Great seats. But, like, you had to walk way down the stairs to get there. And, like, my son kept being like, I have to go potty. I have to go pee. We went up and down those stairs probably 4 or 5 times. And I'm a big dude. So by the last time, I was like, I think I'm going to pass out. I'm going to fucking pass out if I have to go. And, like, as much as we paid money and went there, it's like, I just rationalized myself, like, my son had a good experience. We went to the game. He's not going to have a good experience if his daddy passes out and has to go to the first aid room. So, like, we sat there for a little bit, and we actually missed the second half of the game, listened to it on the radio. So, like, I was out in the concourse, and I just heard, when that return happened, I just heard the Jaguars fans like, what? Ah! And I was like, oh, shit. Okay, something is happening.
Uh-oh. It's time to go.
Yeah, time to go. So, it was... I joke about it, but I legit, that's the closest in my life I've ever felt like I might pass out. Like, it's just so fucking hot and up and down. And I should have known better. 7-year-old kid's not going to sit there for 4 or 5 hours and not have to go to pee like 27 times. But that was the last Cardinals game I went to. So,
do you remember your first one or no?
I feel like now I have to admit I didn't get to go to a lot of games when I lived there. Just didn't have the resources to do that. I went to one that was a preseason. It was at Sun Devil Stadium, and I want to say it was against the Dolphins. Okay. I want to say the quarterback might have been Kent Graham. So
that's how you know he's a diehard, folks. He went to preseason in the sun against the Dolphins. There we go. That's a diehard. Those are the tickets you give away. And if you're young and you can't have the resource, you're gonna take them.
Joe.
Shit, yeah, I'm gonna see my favorite players out there.
Joe, I'm gonna make you feel old. My first game,
as if you haven't already done that enough.
My first game was Emmitt Smith's last game.
You bastard. So, yeah, okay.
So what got you into
you? No, just kidding. What's up?
What got you into YouTubing?
Oh, so there's 2 versions of the story. There's the easy, simple one, and then there's a version that involves a lot of drama and a family member with whom I am not currently on speaking terms. So you want the short version, right?
Either one.
Take a big gulp of your beer and let's just go with the flow. Let's get
your popcorn, folks.
Okay. So, real quick, Silverwolf is asking which is worse, sitting at in the sun at Sun Devil Stadium or Jacksonville. Jacksonville was worse because I had to go up and down those fucking stairs like 5 times. If it weren't for the stairs, we would have buckled down and gotten been so. So that was it. YouTube.
One thing I will say about Sun Devil Stadium is that those metal bleachers, you were fucked if you didn't have one of those seat cushions or something. You're sitting there and those metal bleachers just burning your back and your ass.
Right.
Shout out to my dad for having season tickets at those metal bleachers and having me sit on his lap the whole game with no cushion.
Nice.
Oh, dude.
Shout out Pops.
That man loves his daughter. That's all I'm saying. Wow. That's
Amen.
an amazing father. Father of the year. Okay. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, let's get into it. YouTube.
So YouTube, so I have a family member who has had a YouTube channel for probably 3 or 4 years now that is not sports related. And I watch YouTube videos sometimes in the past. Like most people, I was familiar with the platform, but I didn't really know about YouTubing and YouTubers and what it took to make YouTube videos. But this family member had a YouTube channel that was kind of an extension of his business, that small business that he runs out of his home. And I kind of, supporting a family member, I would watch his videos, even though they had no relevance to my daily life. It was really an obscure kind of a thing that isn't, it's not like you're really even a hobby or interest unless you do that for a living. But I'd watch his channels and his channel to support him. And then one of the things I saw is the people who work in these kinds of businesses, whether it be they make a living doing it or it's a side hustle. Mm-hmm. I saw there was this little community they had. And a lot of the people who worked had this kind of business would have a YouTube channel of their own, and they would do live streams. And you would see them on each other. They do collaborations. They'd be in the chat, and then there'd be a lot of familiar names you start to recognize who maybe didn't have YouTube channels, but they did this kind of business, and they'd be in the chat. And they had this whole community, and they'd have these live streams that really sometimes didn't have anything to do with the actual business. They just had a community, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. And then this family member, who's also a sports fan but not a Cardinals fan, at one point he's like, "Hey, we talked about maybe we should do a YouTube channel that's sports related." And we took a couple of chances trying to start. Like we did one short-lived YouTube channel that was kind of just general NFL. We maybe had 6 live streams that we did.
We're going to need to find that footage. I'm going to need to find that footage.
It's taken down. So unfortunately for you, unfortunately for me, that is not to be found. That kind of just faded out, and then we stopped doing it. And then at some point he reached out and he said, "You know what? Let's do a Cardinals related channel." He wasn't a Cardinals fan, but he was familiar enough with the Cardinals. He's like, Kyler Murray's exciting. I think there's a good opportunity. And, and kind of the idea and the arrangement was going to be like, he knew how to edit videos and had run a channel. So he was going to deal with all that side. And I was going to do the research. I was the sports nerd Cardinals fan. And we were going to kind of work together. And we actually, the first iteration of the Cardinal Rule was going to be this channel me and this family member were going to do together. But we did one video, and it wasn't anything like what I do now. We were recording our second video, getting ready to publish it, and we had a little bit of an argument. This family member kind of has a temper, at whatever. And that night, he took down the channel because he owned it, took down the videos, and I was like, okay, fine. And at that point I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is the last time I'm doing anything with this person because we only did a video and a half, but I put work into it on my end, and I'm not going to go 20 videos deep into a channel and let someone just take their ball and go home. And I'm not putting myself in a position where anyone else could do that. I'm going to make, but at the time I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to start a channel. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not doing that. And some months went by. I don't remember, 2-3 months. And I just had this itch. And I was like, I want to do something Cardinals related. I live in Georgia. I don't get to be around Cardinals fans. I can watch stuff and follow them on the news, but I've got that Cardinals itch, and I want to talk about that. I think I have some things to say. So I was fine. Like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to do this myself. I don't really know how to edit videos, but I'm confident I can teach myself. I'm good at learning software. I'm a smart dude. I'll figure it out, and I'm willing to put in the work. And I launched a channel. And unfortunately, when a month in, when I had a video that actually did really well, this family member told me that I was getting my my Andy Isabella or Rondale Moore video, where Rondale Moore is not Andy Isabella 2.0. That was my video that like helped my channel get off the ground. And that video's got like 20,000 views. So it's like, it's done really well for me. And it got me like, it really put wind under the wings of my channel. And when that started kind of going well, his family members like response was like, congratulations, you won the YouTube lottery. Like kind of like basically saying you didn't earn this, right? And like
so being petty.
Yeah. So, and I know how hard I worked, and I'll tell you a little more about that, in a bit, but like, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, it's like, and like, but I kept calm or whatever, but like, there was a point where I was just like I think I put something on social media, just like, updating friends, like, hey, my channel after a lot of work, and, it's really going well. I've got up to this many subscribers. Thank you for everyone for the support. And he posted something like, here we go, which is his way of being dismissive. And I just kind of responded I know what you think. Whatever,
That's sad.
And then the next thing I get was a message that's like, we're done. Goodbye. Blocks me. Right. So we're not. Wow. So there's the drama. Not on talking terms with that family member. Oh well. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like,
That's crazy that it wasn't that long ago when you started though either.
It was April of last year.
This all happened.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I'm winning the lottery every month. But I mean, I know how hard I worked, and it just felt petty and dismissive, and I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, so anyway, I'm glad though. I'm not glad we're not on talking terms, but like the channel wouldn't be what it is today if I didn't say I'm going to learn this myself. Cause I was able to take control and make it what I wanted it to be. And so in the end it worked out well for the channel, not well for the family. So,
amen. I mean, as a small business owner, like if you're having to rely on other people all the time to do this particular job of, whatever you're trying to accomplish, it's going to hold you back, one way or another, whether it's your time, whether it's your creativity.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel you on that. Did you have a profession? Do you have a profession? I feel like you're like an international man. Like you could be a doctor. You got those guitars hanging. You could be a fucking rock star for all we know. Like, is there a profession that Mr. Cardinal Rule is that we can?
So my day job, I'm a sociology professor. So that's what I do. Like, so I've literally got a PhD in sociology. That's like what I went to school for.
Right. Damn, like smarty pants.
Right? Yeah. No, but like that's how. I don't know, like that's helped me in some ways because like one of the when you study like something like sociology, especially at a grad school level, like one of the things I always say, what you really learn there is like you learn how to understand data and how to construct data-driven arguments. And like, so like one of the things I've been able to pull from that's helped me like, with the channel is like, when I look at data, I know how to piece together the data and tell a story. Right. And that's helped me out a lot. Right. So, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I have very useful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said that's very useful to be able to break down numbers or, whatever it might be and be able to, cause I mean, it would take me a longer time to, get that data in and understand it. But for you to be, you have an innate ability to be able to break it down and be able to share it in a way, no matter what the topic is. I feel like you're able to break it down in a way that makes the viewer more knowledgeable. And I think as anyone who's doing any podcast, any writing, that's your whole goal. You want someone to leave, whatever it is that you have provided, saying, okay, they're a little bit smarter today than they were previously, and that's, I think your profession, like you said, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And you're 100% right. And teaching is another part I think that helps because I spend all day in a classroom trying to explain things to students in a way that that it makes sense. So it's just so like it just so happens what I do for a living really kind of lends itself really nicely to what I'm trying to do with the channel. So that's that's definitely been a help. So for sure. Just want to real quick say a shout out. There's some folks who are saying hey in this chat that are folks that are regulars on my channel as well. Silver Wolf AZ. We've got Rashad. We've got Lance. We've got Brian Elawan who's been in here. So just want to shout out to all those folks. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to these troublemakers I'm hanging out with. They do some good work.
And
We're
I
the
know
bad kids. We're the kids your mom warned you about.
my brother Eric McCauley, Josh Carpenter, that's my nephew, Josh Carpenter. Make sure you guys follow the Cardinal Rule on YouTube for sure. And anyone else who maybe isn't familiar as much on Twitter or YouTube as much, make sure you definitely go follow Joe. And Jackie, Will, you guys got any more questions right now?
What are your goals for the future?
Joe, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What are your goals? What do you want to do with your channel and the AZ Sports Underground?
World domination. I don't think I ask for much. No, my goal is just to kind of keep growing and see what it can become. I mean, I put way too much thought into this, and that's probably part of the reason that I've been able to grow it, pretty quickly. It's about a year and a half in, and I'm getting close to 3,000 subscribers on the channel. But like. I have a career, so it's not like I'm necessarily looking for a full-time gig in sports analysis. Like, if this became a thing that could become full-time, sure, I'd be open to that. But really, what I'm looking to do is keep getting better at what I do and kind of keep growing and see where it can go. And it's certainly the ad revenue from it certainly is a nice little supplement to help pay for the computer and the camera and the stuff I buy and hopefully eventually get a better studio space. But I want to just keep enjoying it and try to get 1% better with everything I do. And so I don't have like these big goals. I have it's not that I don't ever think about what it could be if things go really well. But I always keep it, kind of like, I just kind of keep in the process in the moment, right? Just thinking about what's the next thing I can get a little bit better at, whether it's lighting, audio, editing, how I run my channel, how I promote the titles on my videos. Just, I'm always looking for that what's the next thing I can get a little bit better at? And I'll tell you, and I appreciate all the kind words and compliments about the channel. But I'll tell you what, like the getting 1% better every day, like really makes a difference. Go back and watch my first video. It was unmitigated shit. My first video sucked. The editing was bad. The lighting was bad. I was not as comfortable, with what I was saying.
If you think that your first content was bad,
that's
go back and watch ours.
For me.
Yeah, Will has been our longest tenured. He's the one who asked me. We ended up being like, hey, we'd love to have Jackie. So, yeah, I mean, to your point, though, Joe, if you don't love the process, it's never going to be what you desire it to be. You can want it to be all you want. But if the process is not something that you're willing to grind and spend that time to, you would still be here with that shitty lighting, that, all that shitty audio, just like the first episode. But
yeah. No, and that's the key. Like, you got to work hard and you got to get 1% better. But getting 1% better involves learning new things. Like,
yeah.
I didn't know. I taught myself Premiere Pro video editing software. I didn't know how to do that. I taught myself Photoshop. I still don't know all the advanced features, but like everything you see on my channel, I did. The branding, the graphics in the background, the logo, the video editing. I don't hire people to do any of that stuff. So I put in time watching videos and tutorials on how to do this stuff, trying different effects on text and backgrounds and not just being comfortable with, okay, I've got a background I like, let's just stick with that. I'm like, how can I make that look a little more professional, a little bit better? And learning how the YouTube algorithm works and learning how to look at your analytics and figure out, what is working and what isn't working, and figuring out what kinds of videos are going to grow your channel, things like that. That's all stuff you have to do. But another really important thing though, and this is the thing that is really important to me too, is is community. Like, one of the things I always heard is like, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, you're not just growing a channel, you have to build a community. So like I make that a priority. I've got a Discord, and anyone who's in the chat who's, part of that, there's links to it on my videos. And there's a good group of folks in the Talk Cardinals, and the folks in the chat that are here hanging out with us, part of the community. I try to make a point to respond to, anyone who comments on one of my videos. I'm going to respond, even if it's a quick thank you. And like if you're all about yourself, you're not gonna be successful in this space. You have to understand that you're building a community. Like if people just want analysis, they can go to the big networks, right? But if they want, but if you're going to like a YouTube content creator who's a fan themselves, you're also going there to be part of a community. And that's also a thing that's just, I don't know if everyone gets that, but like that's so important in terms of trying to grow a content creating platform.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So should we? I think we should get into the actual meat of the.
Jackie, do you have anything else, real quick?
I mean, you don't want to spend 4 hours talking about like my strategy for growing my YouTube channel.
No, I just want to just mention a couple things before we actually get into like real football. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows yet or has seen yet, but Joe actually invited me to become a writer for Arizona Sports Underground. So I'm super thankful and honored. This is like a dream come true. I know it's not like a full-time job or anything. But I mean, it's nice to like be able to showcase my fandom in a new platform, because I haven't written anything since my freshman year of college. I'm a college dropout, so that's pretty cool. And I mean, most of like my adult life has just been like a cheerleader for like my family members, my nieces and nephews, like my husband, like he's got little business ventures that like I help support. So for me, I don't really have anything going on. So now like everybody gets to watch like and support me doing something. So I think that's super cool. I'm really excited.
What is your ad again on Twitter? What is your ad again on Twitter for anybody who follows Joe on YouTube and maybe has a Twitter, but they're not very active on it? They can follow you.
So,
what is it?
You can follow me on Twitter at jsandiego. That is 2 O's. I just joke around a lot and I say a lot of R-rated raunchy things, but every now and then I have an educated take about football. So yeah, with that all being said, let's get into some sports.
I just want to say real quick, Jackie, your first article was really good, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was super.
Thank you.
Super professional. I thought it was straight out of like ESPN or something.
It was some good shit, Jackie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, I just saw a interesting fact, just a moment ago. This week is expected to be the first week 1 in 15 years without a rookie QB making a start.
Wow.
Burr, 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 burr.
Well,
teams are trying to catch. This was a shitty draft class though too, so you can almost.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah,
I think COVID made it hard to evaluate talent and just made it hard to.
You kind of lose a year too. Those were kind of the guys who were their first year into college, so you do kind of possibly lose something there entering college. Joe, last thing I really have here, you have those guitars hanging up. Do you play?
I do play. I mean, I'm a hack. I'm not most of it, but I've been playing since I was a teenager. I've played in some bands with friends, and I actually play in a like right now, just a kind of a local band that just does like, covers and stuff and plays local gigs. It's like nothing fancy, but I play bass guitar, and we just get together and jam on stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s and 2000s, and just cover tunes and. But I played with some friends, and that we did some original music like back in the 90s and early 2000s, just garage band stuff, playing local bands. We played is Hollywood Alley still open in Tempe, Mesa-ish area?
Hollywood Alley.
It was a bar.
That's your hood back.
I do not think so. Was that big in the 90s?
I mean, it was just a little bar there that had gigs.
Okay.
Big. I wouldn't ever say it was never big, but it was just a little bar that had bands and stuff, and we played there one time. But so I have been playing. I'm not like an amazing guitar player, but I can pick up a guitar, and you're like, okay, you can play a guitar, so
Nice. I would venture to say Hollywood Alley probably isn't, considering that not native New Yorker, the Vine was like the last original standing place for Mill Avenue almost
Well,
right
this
there.
isn't Mill Avenue. Hollywood Alley
No,
is more suburbs.
yeah, and it looks like it is actually still here.
All
Permanently
right.
closed. God damn it, I did not see that. Fuck. That looked kind of dope though. It's kind of a cool entrance they have right there on the wall on the inside.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Just all the overturn in general in that area. It feels like
Mhm.
nothing has really survived since the
Oh,
90s.
is Big
But
Fish Pub still there? We played
I
there one
believe
time too.
Big Fish Pub.
That was it wasn't on Mill, but it
Permanently
was in
closed.
Tempe.
God damn it. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, played some of those dive
Oh,
bars.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're out in Georgia, correct?
Yeah, I live in a kind of a smaller community in Georgia, teach at a small university out here.
Will you be going? I believe, is that the New Year's Day game?
Yeah,
Falcons?
I have tentative plans to go to the Atlanta game. I was hoping to go to the Carolina game. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it to that one, scheduling reasons. But I got some friends here who are Falcons fans down here where I live. There's probably a group of about 3 or 4 of us that are going to go up there for the Atlanta game. Rashad there, who's in the chat, he's in Atlanta, so probably catch up with him and maybe some other folks that are coming down to the game. So.
Yes, sir. What up, Rashad? I know we're mutual friends as well, I believe, on Twitter, if that's the same Rashad.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, glad that everyone's on right now. So yeah, let's kick it off. Let's actually talk about some football. You guys ready? Let's do it, Will.
Yes,
I'm ready.
sir.
My body is ready.
All right. So now that we have the 53-man roster, what are our weaknesses? What do we like?
I'll start it off. I think that I love our offense. I love basically everything about it. We built the depth up on the wide receiver and offensive lines, and even running back. Even though it feels like 3 of the 5 guys we kept are still unproven. Just the depth in general. You bring a 1,000-yard running back in. You trade for Hollywood Brown. You trade for Cody Ford. It looks like Josh Jones has progressed this preseason. So I love the offense. Jackie, I know we were on our boy Sanders' show. Was it yesterday or the day before? And he kind of asked us the same thing. And what did you say? What was your answer for what did you dislike?
Obviously the cornerback room is a big what the fuck, why didn't we do anything, upgrade the position? Because like I said, I really wish we would have signed Robert Alford or any kind of vet. I think that corner is the hardest position to fill, and I don't really trust any guys that are coming in as rookies or haven't started.
Yeah, when Gamba was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna trade for a corner," I wasn't expecting some bum from the Raiders to be.
He's got decent numbers, and I'll let Joe.
Comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, a bum is kind of hard.
I'm exaggerating for effect.
I mean, so I was going to say, I think Mullen's PFF grades are like in the 60s. He's a second-round pick who, hasn't become a star, but he's got a lot of potential. He's not bad. I actually like the pickup. So I think he'll be fine. The problem is he might not play this first game, so that's a concern.
Same with Antonio Hamilton. Unless you've been under a rock, Antonio Hamilton will not be with the team as well due to burning himself. So how do you feel about Javelin Guidry? How do you feel about him, Joe?
I actually like that pickup. He's an undrafted player. I did a video talking about him, and on a side note, like his dad commented on the video, which was really cool.
That's kind of cool.
But like I actually like the pickup. His rookie year, he graded in the 70s as an undrafted cornerback. He played a lot in the slot his rookie year. In his second year, there was a different defensive system. He was playing on the outside more, and as his dad noted on the comment, in his first year, he played a lot of press man, and in his second year, he's playing moving around a lot. So his grades went down in his second year. But a guy who can grade in the 70s with a reasonable amount of snaps his rookie year is a nice guy to have as like a 4th or 5th cornerback. I think he's better suited to the slot. So like I look at it as a guy. He's a nice guy to have as a backup as a slot. I could even see if he plays as well as he did his rookie year and grades in the 70s. He's a guy, if they decide to keep him around, could be that future solution at slot cornerback. We don't know. Byron Murphy Jr.'s last year of his deal. Are they going to keep him around? Are they going to try to play him on the outside? Are they going to commit to him in the slot? Who the fuck knows? But I like Guidry. I actually thought that was a kind of a sneaky pickup. You don't want to have him as your starter, but if he's your slot corner, that's not. I don't mind that.
So are we anticipating him to be the slot corner entering week 1 with Marco opposite Byron at this point?
Maybe, but if you look at the depth chart, they've got Christian Matthew ahead of him, which is so I don't know. Wow. Matthew seems like more of an outside guy. What they did last year, though, like when they had Alford, right, is they would when they were only have 2 cornerbacks on the field, they'd have Murphy and Alford on the outside, and when they had 3 cornerbacks, they'd bring in Wilson, and they'd slide Murphy into the slot a lot. So he'd play both. So the question is, do they bring in Matthew for this first game and play him on the outside with Wilson and then move Byron Murphy into the slot, or do they keep Murphy outside and play Guidry? Like I said, the depth chart has Guidry behind Matthew. I like Christian Matthew, but he's a 7th round rookie. Right. I don't know if he's ready for that. Game 1 cornerback. I like their depth if they're all healthy.
I agree.
I wish we had better top number 1 cornerback, but I like the depth. The problem is Mullen and Hamilton are, Hamilton's definitely out, and Mullins is day-to-day and unlikely. So your Christian Matthew or Guidry, unless they bring someone else in, one of those 2 guys is going to be playing a lot of snaps.
That's frightening. It kind of feels how we were last year once Robert Alford got hurt. Mm-hmm. You had Marco kind of, I don't know if he really...
He was banged up for a little bit too at the end.
Yeah, and you're in the NFL, you're not used to a 17-game season for 1, and then for 2, just the physicality alone, having to go through that at the NFL level. You saw Marco kind of wear down a little bit. So it would be nice to see, Marco's been bagged on in preseason. It would be nice for him to step up because he's definitely going to be playing week 1, a decent amount of snaps. So, here you go.
Yeah, so... cornerback, a little bit of a concern. I mean, someone Bailey says in the chat, maybe we need another veteran, even if it's Robert Alford. I don't know. I mean, Robert Alford's still hanging out there. Who knows? Maybe they sign him last minute. It wouldn't shock me.
There's still a lot of Sue is a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Sue is a free agent.
It's kind of curious. It's like here we are. I'm doing my top 7 hot takes on the season on Twitter. If you follow me, and some of them are way out there, but I don't, tomorrow's day 3 till, 3 more days till the Cardinals. And it's like, there are some guys still just hanging out there. It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Justin Houston.
Yeah, I went on the Sports Buffoons podcast last week, and I was bouncing up and down. I was praising our wide receiver.
You were twerking?
Yeah, I was twerking on...
Twerking for the wide receivers.
I was making Rondale Moore real uncomfortable.
No, yeah.
This receiver room looks as good as it has in a long time, if ever, and this tight end room is the best it's ever been. The fact that we have 3 legitimate options at tight end, if McBride pans out, that's stellar. I love
good
how
news that Max Williams is active too, right?
Yep.
That came out.
He's going to be a go. Yep. And I just got to say, and as you have reminded me repeatedly, I'm old as shit. And this is the best tight end room I've ever seen as a Cardinals fan, right? And
what
time
else
they've been in Arizona.
Compare it to?
Sorry?
Leonard Pope and who would you compare it to?
Leonard Pope and Ben Patrick, really?
Hey, in the red zone, they were okay. I'll say that. Leonard Pope did have a 6 TD season, I think, right? That could be.
I don't even know.
No, but Cardinals ever since Sun Devil Stadium. Do you remember, Joe? Who was that Chargers tight end we signed in free agency? Who kind of got everyone really excited? I feel like early 2000s, late 90s, and he just did not pan out as well.
Oh man, I'm forgetting. That's vaguely ringing the bell.
But even then, I feel like it was like early 2000s, and everyone was like, "Oh, we got our tight end finally. We finally have a tight end." And then it's like, here we are, 20 years later.
You know who I was hyped for? Like a couple of years ago, I was hyped for
Troy
Charles
Nicholas.
Clay. No, I was hyped for Charles Clay.
He was a nice player before he got here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I totally forgot he was here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Rob Hausler
with the Dolphins.
Listen,
Jermaine Gresham was okay, but
Jermaine Gresham was solid. He just wasn't, a big receiving threat. Listen, the best tight end this team has had up until now was Logan Thomas, and he wasn't a tight end yet, right? He was a quarterback at the time, right? That was the best quarterback or tight end we've had on our roster.
Maybe we're
until
just
now.
jinx for getting rid of Jay Novacek. Maybe they're just like, oh, go fuck yourself. He's gonna win how many Super Bowls with the Cowboys? Now you guys just screwed that tight end.
Yeah, the universe served us up a big dish of fuck you. I'm just getting this all out because I don't vent on my channel, right?
No, I love it. I want to hear. I know everyone wants to hear kind of like, the uncensored.
Like, my pearls.
So I like kind of how we do it. So if we want to hit the next topic, us in the original podcast can kind of break it down or argue about it, and then Joe kind of straightens us out and lets us know what's fact and not.
Can this team be competitive?
Competitive?
Hell no. I'm kidding.
What? What do you mean competitive?
I'm kidding.
If you watch the Cardinals Rule depth chart breakdown this week, which, I don't think anyone's going to be 100%, 11 or 22 for 22 on, agreeing with them or anything, but it's unequivocally deeper, I think, than last year. And the pieces that we did lose, Chandler Jones, sure. He did finish with 10 sacks. The last 2 years, though, he wasn't as impactful as what he was before.
Yeah, a lot of people still claim that as a big off-season loss, and it's
and
like,
it still is because
it is, but it's like
he's proven.
But on the same token, it's like I don't think he's gonna. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. I don't think he's going to be.
Is it a pube?
Fucking yeah. No, I don't think he's going to have that same impact in Oakland. He was getting fucking nay-nayed by no-name fucking offensive tackles. Like Carolina, he didn't have a single sackle. He didn't have a single sack against one of the worst offensive lines in the league. He would just disappear last year, and I think that people are really overestimating what he brought to the table last year. That's what that's what happens when you purely look at the box score and say, "Oh, this is what this player is." No, it's
Jackie, are we going to be competitive, Jackie? What do you think?
I think we're going to be competitive.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's more of a question of, are we not going to collapse at the end of the season?
I think we are going to be competitive. The question is, are we going to be consistent? That is the question we need to figure out.
In the NFL, it always seems to come down to injuries, and it's like starting off before the season starts. How do the Chiefs play their fucking starters in the playoffs, or not the playoffs, the preseason, and they have all 53 guys healthy, literally nobody on the depth chart or on the injury report, and we're over here, not babying per se, but not running guys out for preseason games, and look at our depth chart comparatively. So it does really come down to injuries. But competitive-wise, this offense, if they're not a top 5, top 10 offense because DeAndre Hopkins is going to be out, then something's wrong, and someone's probably going to have to get fired if you're not top 10. But this defense, as long as they can be league average, that's my whole thing. Be league average, you're going to win a lot of games with the Cliff Kingsbury offense. So that's kind of what I'm baking on. And guys like Isaiah Simmons, he's in his 3rd year now. They finally seem to have a spot for him. And I know I've been posting these hot take breakdowns, but my biggest hot take for week 1 is Travis Kelce finishes with less than 50 yards receiving, because Isaiah Simmons is going to be in a perfect position to be on his fucking ass all game long now.
I don't know.
He doesn't have to worry about the run as much. He can sit back, be a little bit behind the linebackers, and be able to fucking take Travis Kelce out. So that's my number 1. What do you think, Jackie? Or Will? Keep going.
I think that this team is going to have a tough time early on. I think that the opening 3 weeks could go I mean, I think we're probably going to go either 1-2 or we're going to go 0-3 for these first few weeks.
Okay.
See,
Joe,
for the folks listening for
we
the
need
first time,
you. Joe, where are you at? Let's talk some sense.
Will is our resident pessimist. Just to get that out there.
But down the stretch, like the schedule looked a lot more intimidating in February than it does now. Just knowing what we know, I think that there is a good chance if we don't sweep the NFC South, we're going to go 3-1. The AFC West, I think that's a toss up. I think we probably go 2-2.
I can see that.
That's fair. We sweep Seattle, right? Right.
No, we go 1-1 with Seattle.
AFC
What
West.
the hell?
AFC West,
all right,
you said, right?
We're done here.
Yeah, AFC. I say AFC West. We split it. I think we probably beat the Raiders, and the Chargers are always due for one stupid loss. So I'd say pencil them in too.
Okay. Joe, are we going to be competitive? What do you think here?
I think we're going to be competitive.
Hell yeah.
I think people are forgetting how good this offense was last year, and we've all talked about how the offense is better this year than it was last year.
I think
deeper.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Absolutely. And I think once this team is at 100% come week 7, I think that this is going to be an offense that just clicks. It's going to be it's going to just be humming. It's going to be a fucking symphony. I love it.
There will be a reckoning.
I
think it's going to be there from even earlier. I know Hopkins being back is going to make a big deal. I think this offense with Hollywood Brown and Zach Ertz from the beginning is going to. I know the offense kind of fell off a cliff. You know, when pun intended, when DeAndre Hopkins got banged up. But like this offense, like our number 1 and 2 receivers that year at that point in the year were AJ Green and Christian Kirk. You know, and we had Zach Ertz, but now we have Hollywood Brown, AJ Green, Rondale Moore going to have a bigger role, and Zach Ertz.
And
I just feel better about this offense, even without Hopkins for the first 6 games.
And I think a lot of people are forgetting Rondale Moore in this equation. Like before he just like disappeared from our rotation last year, he was lighting it up.
He got banged up too. So
yeah.
I think he was nursing in, and that's always been the thing about Rondale Moore. I know when I put out my top 7 receivers from last year, I did not have him on there. I had like Elijah Moore at 6 or 7. And I think I only did 6 or 7. And somebody responded like, "Who would be your next one?" And it was Rondale Moore. And the reason was just because we didn't see that much from him in college because he was always banged up. But if you can have him healthy, with him, Hollywood, even AJ Green. I've seen people say AJ Green's gonna have a couple big first games, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you put all this speed on the field, and then you have AJ on the outside, and what he specializes in is still being able to go up and get it. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised, like Joe said, if this offense just kind of takes off from the beginning, especially with what we think is going to be a better, more healthy tight end core and running back core right off the bat.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the defense a little because I know that's where all the concerns at, right?
Yep.
And I understand, and that's where my biggest concerns are. Yep. We've talked about cornerback. I like the depth when they're healthy, but I like I said, I wish we had another legit starting cornerback right now. At least he was healthy. I'm not worried about the edge rushers. I know a lot of fans are and want to sign an outside linebacker. I actually like Marcus Golden, Dennis Gardeck, Victor Dimakajian, the rookies.
Solid rotation from what we saw.
Rotate those guys in. And Vance Joseph has shown an ability to dial up pass rush, and they've got a little, I know Watt's a little banged up right now, but between him and Zion, they've got a little interior pass rush juice in there too. I think that pass rush is going to be fine. The interior defensive line in terms of run stopping is is a concern. I love Rashard Lawrence, but the question is, can he stay healthy? So I'm a little worried about the depth there. But to take a step back, I one of the assumptions I kind of just take is and I know fans get frustrated and we like to say, what the fuck are they doing there? What are those idiots doing? But I always take a step back, and one of my underlying assumptions is the people in the building know more than I do about football. I give them the benefit of that for knowing what they're doing. And this is maybe why I'm a little more optimist. I know people don't always agree with me on that, and that's okay. I think what they've done with defense and what they're doing with defense is not, they're sitting on their hands and they're not doing anything. I think they are making some strategic decisions about how they're building this roster. They are prioritizing offense. They're going with young players at defense and draft picks and going to let those guys develop. I think they are also trusting Vance Joseph to bring and develop pressure and not having to have a premier, highly paid edge rusher. And at the cornerback position, listen, they haven't been prioritizing it for years, and I don't think it's because they're like, oh, darn, we missed a cornerback again in the draft. Oh, we missed another one for agency. I think they have made a strategic decision knowing that they have built a roster with what I think is the best safety tandem in the NFL, and I think they believe with their system and that they have these great safeties. I think they believe they can make a serviceable defense with the kinds of cornerbacks they've been adding. And let us not forget, last year we were worried about the cornerbacks going into the season again, right? We were worried. And they ended up having Robert Alford, Byron Murphy Jr., Marco Wilson, Antonio Hamilton as their cornerbacks. And until a couple of those guys got banged up and they were having to start Breon Borders, the cornerbacks weren't a problem. They may not have been elite, but that was not a weakness. Marco Wilson got beat a little bit, but they were not getting torched in the the secondary.
They were elite first half of the season.
They were really good.
Injuries, yeah.
So I'm giving them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt and trusting that they are not just, I don't know, I guess we don't have cornerbacks. I think they have a plan. I think they know their scheme. I think they know where they need to have strength and where they don't, based on how Vance Joseph plays his defense. And I don't think it's on accident that they're going with less expensive kind of journeymen and kind of, mid-tier or, kind of cornerbacks and trusting their safety. So I think the defense is going to be better than people think. I do think it's not going to be quite as good as it was the first half of last year. They've got some young players who are going to have to get their feet wet. But I don't think it's going to be like a bottom 10 defense. I think it's going to be better than people think it's going to be.
And to your point, if anybody remembers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the year they won the Super Bowl, they didn't have any elite guys at corner. They just relied on their pass rushers to kind of get out there, get pressure. So, nobody can throw at these corners if they're getting pressure.
And to the point of the elite safeties, Jalen Thompson just turned 24 years old. Like, if you look at his birthday, it's still within 100 days of his birthday. So you have to take in consideration, okay, he had 3 interceptions last year, 1 the year before. This guy is still growing. He's not at 28, 29 years old where, okay, this is his pass coverage skills right now. This kid is still only 24 years old. He came from a supplementary draft to steal this job and run away with this fucking job. I know one of my hot takes I started off with is 7 days till Cardinals football. Number 7, Jalen Thompson will have 7 fucking interceptions this year. I think a lot of people are just, whoa. Well, he had 3 at age 23. He's going to play all 17 games this year at age 24. And maybe 7's a little rich, but if you're able to get 3 picks as a safety, you at 23 years old, you know how to read coverages. You know how to play basically center field. That's not Budda Baker's job. You know what I mean? Budda Baker is the guy who's going to meet you in the middle. Jalen Thompson is going to be the free safety who's going to be the center fielder, basically. And so I do see an uptick. Maybe it's not 7 INTs. Maybe it's 4, 5, 6. But Jalen Thompson's coverage skills, I think, is another reason that they are also like, okay, let's see how it kind of plays out. And if it doesn't work out, this offense should be good enough to keep the Cardinals in games, especially when DeAndre Hopkins gets back, until the trade deadline. And when the trade deadline comes, and if the Cardinals' cornerback spot is by far the weakest, I do like to think that Steve Keim will make it a point to maybe go out there and maybe go to the Browns. Everyone talked about, signing all these guys or trading for these cornerbacks. And a lot of us kind of knew deep down that these guys aren't going to really be available before the season starts at cornerback. You don't just get rid of good cornerbacks. But if you could wait 2.5, 3 months, see how bad the Browns are. Maybe they do make that trade, or maybe they do make that trade with the Saints. Jameis don't pan out. They get that cornerback that I know you talked about on your YouTube, Joe. So that's just kind of my point. I do think Jalen Thompson has another level that he will step into this year. That a lot of people are just kind of like, oh, this is kind of like he's a great player, but I do think there's another level of coverage ability, if that's even a word, that he's going to grow into.
Somebody in the chat's wondering if we think that Golden will get paid by Sunday.
I fucking hope so. If he's holding in. What do you think, Joe? What do you think the whole deal with Golden right now?
I mean, I saw his tweet. Underappreciated, underpaid, undervalued, but still. And I mean, I'm not yet convinced he's holding in. I know people are saying he's got that DJ Humphries stomach flu, right?
But yeah,
I'm not convinced he's holding in. I could be wrong. I don't know, but if he is, I think they'll get it figured out before then. I think like he is like he is the. I have one Cardinals jersey and it's a Golden jersey, right? I love Marcus Golden. The dude loves the Cardinals. He loves being a Cardinal. He is the kind of player.
It is rare.
Right. He's the kind of player you want, kind of represent your organization. And listen, Michael Bidwell, as much as he's made some mistakes with the study addendum in the contract, he cares a lot about perceptions and he doesn't want and I'm sure he's hated this offseason with all the fucking distractions, but like, I don't think he wants there to be a public kind of rift between the Cardinals and the player who is the heart and soul of this is the guy who loves being a Cardinal. So if it's really about money, I think he'll get it settled. I don't think it is. I think he deserves a pay raise. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it, right? But I think
agree.
He's legitimately banged up.
Yeah, because he's kind of the cog that makes it work. He's the one proven piece that you're going to have on the edge coming off. And if you don't have him, I mean, look, he's getting paid, $3.5 million this year. I remember when Steve Keim, back in the Arians days, he was quoted as saying, these pass rushers, they get $1 million essentially for every sack. You see a guy who's a double-digit sack guy, he's earned double-digit sacks. So, I mean, if I'm Marcus Golden's agent, maybe, you're kind of going to be tossing it. But with a week less to go in the season, I don't know. You'd like to think that, he hasn't played did he even play in the preseason? No?
Well, I mean, but they're not playing their starters really in the preseason, so.
No, so it's just crazy how banged up it seems to be we are without playing all these guys.
All right.
What say you guys? How about we get into pick'ems?
You think? Jackie, you got anything else?
Well, before we get into pick'ems, what do we think is going to be the key for stopping Kansas City?
Oh, I was going to put that in the pick. Okay.
Okay, let's do pick'ems and then we'll get into that.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll pick all the winners of week 1, and then when it comes to the Cardinals Chiefs, we'll actually break that down more. So
I think that's what Will was trying to say.
Yeah, we'll go through that.
I thought he was trying to get us out of here. Come on,
what, you don't want a 4-hour podcast?
Sometimes we don't know if Will has wrestling later on tonight. We don't.
No. I just I've got homework to do tonight.
We don't know.
He's trying to get naked and wrestle. Okay.
All right. So
podcast and chill.
Starting out our NFL season, Thursday night football. We got Buffalo versus LA, the Rams. Who we got?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going Bill. I can't in good heart be able to.
I'm going Buffalo, not only because I don't want the Rams to win, but because I think Buffalo is arguably the most complete team in the NFL, or one of the two most complete teams in the NFL. And I think Stafford's arm there's some question marks about the health there. So
there are.
Matt Stafford pulls out a miracle, and the Rams beat the Bills.
God, I hate you, Will.
Love you too. All right.
Well, hold on. Will you guys let me know about Bobbles? Our editor, Bobbles. He's a silent man of mystery.
He said the Bills. Okay.
We'll just add him in there too.
Opening up our Sunday slate, we got New Orleans versus Atlanta. Who we got?
No.
I'm going ATL just because that's where
Really?
Kokomo's from. Kokomo. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before, Mac.
Made no sense.
Kokomo Joe?
I've never heard Joe
Come
Kokomo
on.
or Joe Como sung to the melody of
Shut up.
Beach Boys' hit Kokomo.
So
maybe not from someone my age, but you have to.
Yeah, I've heard that. Maybe 3,000 times.
He's over it. He's sick of it.
I thought about it at work, and honestly, I was like, "No, that's stupid. Don't fucking say that." And now here I am with 6 beers in front of me. I fucking said it. I apologize.
See, the problem is you had to sing it, and you didn't sing it. That's what I'm upset about.
Hey,
I think
I am not the guy you want to fucking have singing anything.
Oh, right now I do. Absolutely, right now.
You break out the guitar and start playing it. I will fucking sing it.
All right,
that's what I thought. Shut the fuck up, Joe.
All right, I think it's gonna be.
I'm kidding. I love you. Don't. It's all right. Don't leave us.
I'll forget that.
Let's get on track.
Will hates us.
All right, who do you guys got? Saints or Atlanta?
No question.
I got the Saints. Yeah.
I want you to guess how much this ticket's retailing for.
Where is it?
It's in Atlanta. I know it's a rivalry game, but this is ridiculous. Guess how much?
The average?
I'm going to guess as low as $107.
$195.
162.
111, which is still too much for a team that's expected to be drafting like
Joko. He just wins everything. Don't even listen to us.
I'm on
Bobby,
the
if you want
ESPN
to
site that's got the tickets listed here. So
I was gonna say, Bobby, if you just want to edit this to only Joe talking, that's totally fine. He's
going to edit in Joe saying $300.
Up next, we got Niners.
Oh,
Bears,
I don't get to pick.
Hold on. Sorry, who you got?
Oh, Bob will fix things.
Yeah,
dude.
asshole.
I'm gonna email your sociology professor and tell him to fail your ass.
Joke's on you. I was already planning on it.
I just dropped out.
Okay. Already there. I'm going to go with the upset with Atlanta. They're not going to be a good team, but I think they got a good coach, and I think they're going to be frisky this year. So
I agree. Yeah.
Ooh, frisky.
I still say the same.
I can't wait to see Desmond Ritter play. I want to see Desmond Ritter more than Marcus. I think Marcus Mariota could be, he can kind of sail the ship a little bit, but once Desmond Ritter gets in there, I think they're going to be pretty decent with Kyle Pitts. You add in Drake London, Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson. That is a sneaky team that could be decent.
By the way,
defense.
People are really overestimating how good the Saints are going to be this year. Like I've seen people say, "Oh yeah, this is a wild card team," or this could win the NFC South. I've seen people with legitimate jobs say that. Dennis Allen in his career is 8-28.
Nobody wants to acknowledge Alvin Kamara isn't seemingly the same back as he was too. So we'll just leave that out there. What's next? We
got Niners Bears in Chicago.
Hey, I'm going fucking Bears. I'm going Bears just for the fact Jackie said that if Trey Lance goes 0-3, they're gonna fucking remove him. So I'm going Bears.
Yes,
I want to see it. I want to see it happen.
I want to see it too. Fuck the Niners. Yeah, let's go Bears.
Let's go Bears.
So I hate to do this. I'm going Niners. I just think the Bears are gonna be really bad.
Big Niner fan, Joko. Most hated team, second most hated team. Lie Detector says no. What do you guys got, Will? What do you got?
It's going to be Niners.
Hey, Jackie. We got this.
Yep.
All right.
No.
Up next, we got Mitch Kissing Titties and the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. It's in Cincy.
I'm just going to go
Maybe the Bengals.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, Bengals for me.
Yep.
Got to be the Bengals.
Yep. Click one. All right.
After that, we got Philly versus Detroit. Who we got?
Detroit.
Fuck you. Why do you always got to pick the
I'm not a believer in Jalen Hurts. I'm just not.
You always got to pick the sleepers before me, the underdogs. God damn you. Yeah, I am. Everyone loves Philly, and I think Detroit. I don't know if it's hard knocks or what, but But I think they can
I
steal
love me
one.
some Dan Campbell. Love me some Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Hard Knocks and
Yeah.
pulling for some of the players on that team, and you got to love a team that's that kind of grit, as they as they say. But
Lovable losers,
right? And listen, Goff isn't a great quarterback, but he's better than people give him credit for. I think.
Yeah. No, he is better than what people give him credit for. I agree.
He is slightly above doo-doo. That's
Right.
what I'll give him. All right. So
hold on. He never went. He never.
I know.
Went.
He never went.
Oh, sorry.
I am picking Philadelphia because even though I'm ambivalent about Jalen Hurts, I'm not completely sure about him. I do believe the rest of their roster is really fucking good.
Yeah, you don't have to explain it. You can just say you guys are Jackie and Mac are dumbasses. Detroit ain't winning shit.
But
they're winning.
Don't take from me the joy of explaining why you're dumbasses. That's one of those little joys in life.
Some of us.
Just a hint.
Some of us are here to feel something. Some of us are here to win. I'm here to win, motherfucker. It's Philly.
You guys thinking with your big brains. Me and Jackie do not think like that. Okay.
I think with my big balls.
All right, we got New England versus Miami.
That when I take a drink, I'd be spitting that shit out.
We got New England versus Miami in Miami. That last part's the key. Who we got?
Miami.
No, it don't matter. It could be on Mars. I'm picking the fucking Bill Belichick team. New England.
Yeah, I'm going New England.
Okay,
I'm
Jackie,
going
you
New
have
England
to start going
too.
ahead of me because you keep picking my picks. So you're gonna go next first.
Yeah, I've got New England too on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd trust Antonio Hamilton on Hell's Kitchen sooner than I'd trust New England and Miami. Dolphins.
That's fucked up. You got Dolphins?
Yeah, Dolphins win.
Bobbles get fins. Okay.
Sorry, that was an awful joke. I am so sorry.
You're going to hell.
Straight to it.
I'll see you there.
All right.
He'll be fine.
After that, we got Baltimore versus New York. The Jets. I have to clarify. Who you got?
I'm going to spite Sanders and go with the Jets.
Oh, no, you're not spiting anybody. You always pick the Jets. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's true. If anybody's new here, just know I
swear to God, Joe, she is 0-15 picking the Jets since we had her on, and I'm all about it.
For why, I don't know.
I swear to God, you have not won a Jets prediction, but you always go Jets.
No. The one time that they were about to go, winless. I did not pick the Jets, and that's when they actually won a game.
And you picked them 5 times in a row before that, and then the one game.
Joe, I'm going to assume that you are a rational person and you're going to pick Baltimore.
As much as I want to buy into the Joe Flacco revenge tour, I am going with Baltimore.
Cool. Yeah, it's Baltimore. I don't even have to say anything more than that. Jacksonville, Washington. Who we got? Let's keep this simple. I think that's. I think we should keep this simple. I don't think we need to ramble about this one.
I mean, Carson Wentz is their quarterback. I mean, is year 2 Trevor Lawrence better than Carson Wentz? Maybe. I don't think it's that given that Washington's going to win. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go Jacksonville.
Who said I thought Washington was going to win? Jacksonville.
I know you. You're going Jacksonville? Okay. Yeah. I'm going Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington. This is probably the toughest game looking at the slate to pick because, Washington isn't a great team, but I think Ron Rivera is a good coach. I think Washington will win. All
right, after that, we got Cleveland, Carolina. Who we got?
Well, Will's a diehard Panthers fan.
Go to hell.
I'm going Cleveland just for the fact I picked up their defense last night in my big money league. NKL, shout out my brother Derek. Thanks for being in it. I'm going Cleveland. Shocking the world.
There is part of me that still holds on to a fleeting hope that there's justice in the universe. And that part of me is going to pick Carolina because fuck Deshaun Watson.
I feel gross
and
now.
fuck how the Browns treated. Listen, I wouldn't say I am a fan of Baker Mayfield. I think he's a little kind of.
Yeah.
I don't love his attitude, but I don't hate him. I'm kind of in the middle. But they did him dirty. The Browns did him.
They did him so dirty.
I am rooting for him. Fuck. If I didn't already say it, I'd change it. God damn it, Joe. Yeah, over here, big.
Well, listen. Remember, you asked me to come on here and explain why you're a fucking idiot,
Stupid
and I'm just doing what you brought me here to do, man.
Smartness.
Joe, have you finished your 2 beers? I think everyone needs to know.
I'm almost done with the second one.
Okay, cool. We're almost there, so we got it. Jackie, what do you got? Will, what do you guys got?
As much as I want,
beer?
No. Pick'ems, but yeah.
I said Cleveland.
Sorry.
As much as I want the Cleveland Browns to pay for what they have done in this universe for giving a sexual predator for giving a sexual predator fucking $250 million or whatever the fuck you gave him. Yep. I know Matt Rule. I know he's a fucking bum, and I'm gonna say Cleveland Browns. Doesn't matter that Jacoby Brissett's their quarterback. Carolina fucking sucks.
They better hand the ball out. It'd be nice to see Christian McCaffrey finally out there again, though. So
yeah, anyways, he'll get his 4 games, and then he'll get injured again, and people will put him on the top of their fantasy boards, even though he gets injured every fucking year.
Yep, that's life of fantasy. What we got next?
Indy, Houston.
I feel like Houston beats them every fucking time, or at least once a year. Is that just me?
No, you're thinking of Jacksonville right there, honey.
Okay. Thanks, bub.
Honey.
Honestly, why do I would have picked Indy 100 out of 100 times right now, but right now thinking about it,
because you want to lose.
I'm going Indy.
Yeah, I'm going Indy. I think they've got a solid roster. Matt Ryan's a good vet. I think Indy is going to win. I like some of the things Houston's done in terms of trying to rebuild this roster. Man, what did the Houston fans do to make God angry? I mean,
Astros. Whatever
that's what they did. That's point
something
made.
On the Oilers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jackie?
Rashad with a really good point, the little factoid. The Colts haven't won an opener in 8 years.
We're on the same brain wave. I just was all using my left side of my brain.
But I'm picking Indy still.
Yeah.
Indy, no question.
Colts are a good team.
After this, we got Giants, Titans. Who we feeling?
Titans.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to.
I think the Giants are in competition for the first overall pick this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going Tennessee here.
Go New York! Go New York! Go! It's gonna be the Giants, baby. My sweet mates probably want to kill me now.
Joe, do you already feel bad for us? I mean, God, jeez.
I
felt bad for you before I came on here, Mac.
Jackie always picked the Jets. Will always picks the Giants. I'm in a fucking nightmare right now.
No. Maybe you should pick the Bills.
Who does best in your pick'ems over the long course of a season usually?
Jackie.
I had a
so what Max? So what I'm hearing is they spot you shitty picks of picking New York and you still can't beat them. That's what I hear. Is that what I hear?
I had a streak at the end of the year. I was surging.
That is not accurate. Will only wins when the Cardinals start tanking. I swear. He'll lose 11 in a row, and then the Cardinals will be like 11 in a row. And then the Cardinals start losing, and now motherfucking Will over here picking against the Cardinals every week. I think last year I won it. I think Jackie finished second, maybe Bo Bobbles, and then maybe Will made a run up to third place. I don't know.
I had a run at the end. I was doing good at the end.
I'm gonna take deep notes this year. Like half the time we kind of just do it and not really keep total track. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see Joe.
Okay.
After that, we got Green Bay, Minnesota. Who we feeling?
Minnesota, baby.
Really?
Okay, fucking Sanders. Jesus Christ, that was quick.
Not because of Kirk Cousins, let me tell you.
Okay. I mean, I am going to go to Green Bay. The big brother's the big brother until the little brother can do something.
Kirk Cousins is a bum, and Green Bay's going to win.
I'm going with Green Bay, too. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most... Aaron Rodgers has kind of gone off the reservation there, so I don't know what's up with him, but he's still, to me, in terms of pure talent, I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most gifted quarterbacks I've ever watched. So I'm going to go with Green Bay here.
All right. After that, we got Vegas versus the Chargers. Who we feeling?
I apologize, Will. Did you say Minnesota?
No, I said Green Bay.
Okay.
I'm the only one going Minnesota?
Nope, Bo Bobbles went mini too.
You guys.
But he prefaced it by saying calling it. So I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah, that's the other person.
Get out of here, Bobby.
All right. After that, we got Vegas versus the Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah, that's a kind of a good game. That is a Chargers. Jackie says. Bobble says Chargers, so I'm definitely going to Vegas.
It's
I'm
going
going
to be
Chargers too.
It's going to be the Raiders.
I'm not. I think the Raiders are going to be decent, but I'm not buying them.
No, I'm not like
yeah,
a lot
but
of people.
I know the Chargers.
I'd rather have the Raiders start 1-0. Cardinals beat them. So yeah, we'll just go Vegas.
Sunday Night Football. We got Tampa versus Dallas.
Tampa.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, this is Tampa for me as well. Yeah.
It's gonna be Tampa Bay. By the way, I saw that I'm looking at ESPN's schedule thing, so I see the ticket prices. I was like, $66. That's really cheap for a ticket. And then of course I look and it's standing room.
Nice.
I mean, 66 ain't bad. To watch the game live, I'll stand. Give me double fist and beers. I'll be good.
Monday Night Football. I think we all know the answer for this. Denver, Seattle. What a mess of a game to put for Monday night. Who you got?
Denver.
I go Denver. Yeah.
Denver.
You don't believe in Geno Smith?
Oh God.
Yeah,
I did for like a half of a quarter of a game last year.
The first quarter he filled in for. Yeah, Denver.
All right. And that leads us to
Bobbles, Denver. Okay, sorry.
And that leads us to Sunday afternoon at 4:25. Your Arizona Cardinals versus the barbecue eating, country music listening, Kansas City residing, Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
So, well, what were you saying? You wanted to ask questions right here, and we kind of talk about it, and then we can kind of answer, maybe.
We can do that, but we could also just pick here and just answer those questions after.
Chief. Well, I'm going to Arizona. While a lot of people are questioning the Cardinals' defense, the Chiefs seem to be having about 5 rookies in their rotation to start the year, and they lost. I heard on the radio they lost over 50% of the people who created turnovers last year on their defense. So there's a lot of influx of young, talent right there that is going to have to take time to mesh, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game both ways. So I'm going with Cardinals. I said in my today's hot take that the Cardinals will score that's going to be tomorrow's, though. At least 40 points 3 times. So if you're listening today, I'm doing the hot takes from 7 to 1. I've done 7 through 4 right now. If you're listening, you get a sneak peek to tomorrow. Tomorrow's number 3 days away from opening day. And number 3 represents the amount of times the Cardinals are going to score at least 40 points. So I am going to go 42, 30, I go a weird number, 34. They win by 8.
Damn. Okay.
That is not the number you wanted.
Well, 42 is my number for our score. So.
Who's next?
Do it. Well, Bo Bobbles said Cardinals 35-31. So Bo Bobbles, he doesn't talk. He's a resident mute or AI. We don't know yet,
I think he's an AI that edits your stuff. Yeah, totally.
Jackie, what are you feeling?
Well, okay, so I'm thinking score because I do feel like it's going to be kind of...
What are you doing over there? You doing workouts? You doing chin-ups or something?
Yeah, your mic's going
crazy
crazy.
on the ground. Sorry. Is that better? I'm laying down now because it's been a long episode and I'm old. So I've got the Cardinals winning. Let's go 27-24. Keep it not too high. But I think the key to this matchup and us winning is going to be the Chiefs defense getting down early, causing Patrick Mahomes to try to be a hero and force things that aren't there. Their wide receiver core doesn't move me. And I think our safety play is going to come up big against him. So I think that's what it's going to come down to.
While 27-24 equals 51 points, which people might be like, oh, that's kind of low for total score. I believe Vegas has it at 53 point something. So that's not too far off what Vegas thinks. And I believe Vegas has the Cardinals line at 23.5, which sounds ridiculously low. So if you see 23.5 anywhere for the Cardinals, bust that over.
Joe?
So on paper, I want to just acknowledge that the Chiefs look like the better team. Their offensive line is really good. They've got, obviously we know what Mahomes is. They've got a better situation at cornerback than we do right now, which is not saying that much. I get that. So this is a little bit more of a heart pick, and also / just trusting that this team is the same team that started out 7-0 last year in terms of, but maybe a little better offensively. So I am going to go with the Cardinals winning. I'm going to go 34-27.
34-20. Hey, we love it. I have never, as much as like I'll come on here after losses and we'll bash the team and give our emotions. I've never picked against the Cardinals and pick'ems. So that might be a reason why maybe these other guys try to keep up with me, but whatever. What do you got, Will? Okay.
Oh, God.
You made me drop my pen with that.
You guys are going to love me.
Yeah.
Chiefs win 38-28.
38-28. This is why you go 0-10 to start all years. Okay. So
Will's fired.
Ron
would like to come in and host.
I'm going to make some bold predictions.
They're found in the Discord.
I'm going to make some bold. I'm going to make my bold prediction for the game. I think Rondale Moore leads us in receiving yards.
Okay.
I think that in order to stop this Kansas City team, we got to take advantage of Mahomes' long drop backs and apply as much pressure as we can while he does it. He drops back like a motherfucker, and if we can stop him while he's doing that, we can curb him pretty easy. But I mean, I don't think we can do that with the state of our line.
Curb him pretty easy.
I don't fucking know. I'm trying to be optimistic about this but it's like Mahomes has not thrown an interception in an opening game. I'm pretty sure he has not lost an opening game. I don't think we're going to be the ones to buck that trend. I think we lose.
Okay. I mean, that's probably what the national media is thinking, and all you guys.
And I'm trying to get that Stephen A. Smith money, you feel?
Okay. Stay in college. I do think that the Cardinals are going to come out with a sense of urgency off the bat. You're playing down D-Hop. You're going to have guys wanting to step up. And I do think that they're going to want to try to right the wrong from the end of last year. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to, the Chiefs are coming to town. One of, if not the best team in the NFL, that a lot of people think. And I'm curious to see how the Chiefs wide receivers stack up against, and it's basically an unproven wide receiver room for them. Sure, Juju and, Marcus Valdez-Scantling have a history, but it's your first week with them. So there's going to be a lot of, question marks. And the Cardinals, they're going to have a lot of guys, especially on defense, ready to prove themselves, ready to step up out of the shadow. Like what I saw from Victor Demicheji, I think he could be a starter in this league. From what he showed in preseason, I think by the end of the year, he's going to be the opposite, outside linebacker. I love Gardeck, and I think Gardeck can bring a lot of things to this team, especially on special teams and situational pass rushing. But to see someone like DeMcCasey step up, he looked like Chandler Jones. To be honest, the way he dominated with his swim moves and his strength. So that's something that I think the Cardinals are going to be able to surprise them a little bit with, like Joe said, Vance Joseph specializes, in being able to draw up pressures. You'll see times where there's only 2 down linemen, and they have 6 guys in the box, outside of those 2 down linemen, and you have to guess who's rushing, who's not. So I think, especially week 1, this defense is gonna show up a little bit more than a lot of people are anticipating. Even though I do have the Chiefs at 34 points, I do believe that this offense, and especially Kyler and Hollywood Brown, I wouldn't be surprised if they have 2 to 3 touchdowns week 1. So that's kind of my final thought on that.
Rashad makes a good point that Kyler hasn't lost an opening game either.
They tied one.
Yeah,
well.
Me. Bite me.
And that's the whole thing. Like, if we lose this game, as long as we don't get blasted, I don't think a lot of people are going to be. I mean, it's social media, whatever platform you're on. People are going to trip no matter what. But to lose to the Chiefs,
there's no shame in it.
As
long as you're not blown out, right?
Exactly. As long as it's
not, if we don't get ass blasted, we're fine.
By halftime, you're not feeling like it's the playoff game over again. I do believe that there is a sense of, okay, even if we can finish 3-3 these first 6 weeks, maybe this will be the year where, okay, we can actually put it together in the second half of the season. Because I don't think, from being on Twitter as much as I am or whatever, and just being a Cardinal fan in general, I don't think any of us will feel that comfortable, even if we start off, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. It's all about playoff wins at this point. So I don't, if we lose, we lose. It's a good game. Either way, it's going to be a good game, and I'm ready for, meaningful football to finally get here.
Praying so, man. But I know this team, and I know what they do. So.
God damn it, Will. Why did you have to be the first one to fucking say something? Well,
no,
on top of that,
win. Like I said, the Chiefs, the Queefs, the Pot Leafs don't care. Cards by 3.
Cards by 3. So I think before we finish off, unless there's any more questions on YouTube, does the AZ transplant crowd affect this game? Not from Kansas City, I don't think. I think I don't know, when I had season tickets when the Sun Devil, or not Sun Devil Stadium, but when the stadium first opened through 2010, I don't remember the Chiefs being all that aggressive of fan base coming in. It's kind of the same market as the Rams. Rams fans would come in with Kurt Warner jerseys on, and the row in front of us was dedicated to opposing teams' fans. So I almost got in a couple squabbles, but I feel like that Midwestern kind of people, they come in and they kind of enjoy the sport. They enjoy the team for who they are. They're not the really young group that come in here and try to start chaos.
I'm not seeing a bunch of games on our schedule that would give us transplant fans. I think the 2 that we'd really have to be worried about are like Philly and in New England. I think those are the 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's Arizona. You look at any game. You look at a Coyote game. I mean, honestly, you look at a fucking Cardinal game when the Steelers are there. Look at any D-back game who's got, an opposing team coming in. It is just what it is in this market. It sucks. As someone who's from here and who's rooted for all these teams from the beginning, it fucking sucks,
Yeah.
But I don't see Kansas City and their fan base really affecting the crowd too much unless it gets lopsided early, which, I mean, who the fuck knows at any given Sunday. Joe, is there something that you want to hit on about this Cardinal Chiefs game that maybe you haven't talked about on your podcast or haven't brought up so far tonight?
I'm just gonna, y'all had some bold predictions, and I'm gonna throw one out there.
Yes. Oh, I meant to ask you that. What is the bold prediction? So I'm glad you said that. We're on the same wavelength. I like it.
Yeah, So I think that the Cardinals are gonna bring pressure on Mahomes, and I think he's gonna throw an equal number of touchdowns and interceptions, like 3 and 3. I think they're gonna put pressure. They're gonna bring the pressure. They're gonna play with fire and get burnt 3 times, but they're gonna also bring the heat and get 3 interceptions, probably from the safeties a good bit.
Oh, Joe, that means fucking Jalen Thompson getting at least 2 of those picks because I love Buddha, but he ain't the cover fucking safety that Jalen is. So if you're telling me we can get Jalen Thompson 2 INTs to get towards that 7 total on the year, boy, I'm all about it.
Here's
like
hoping, right?
Yeah. I love it.
I'll drink to that again.
Mm-hmm.
What won't you drink to, Mac? That's what I want to know.
Oh gosh, I not to drink to.
I'll drink to another day that ends in the letter Y.
Honestly, I've never thought about that question. What is something I will not drink to?
Cardinals loss. Oh wait, no, yeah, shit.
Oh fuck, you kidding me?
Yeah, shit, you're right. I'm stupid.
Honestly,
we got to drink to drown ourselves.
It might be a family member's death. That's how.
Yeah, I don't know because when I'm
an alcoholic. God damn it, that's just what that said. Yeah. Anyways, we'll move on from that. So before we go, let's all get our season prediction win totals. We're not going to go through the game by game, right? We don't got time for that. But I know Jackie and I finished right there at about 11 wins last year. So let's get our season win totals between the 5 of us.
9 and 8.
9 and 8. Great analysis. I like it though. 9 and 8. Whatever.
I've been going. I'm going to stay consistent. I kind of a little bit waver between 2 numbers, but I'm going to go 10 and 7.
That is what I landed on last year after the retirement from what's his face in the cornerback room. Okay.
Yeah, Malcolm
Bobble. Yeah, Malcolm Butler. Bobble says 11 and 6. I'm wavering on both of those numbers too. 11, 6, 10, and 7. Jackie, do you want me to go first or you go first? Either way.
I said 11 and 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Fucking copy.
All right,
Bobby.
I am going just because I am this guy. I'm going 10, 6, and 1.
There's always one of those guys.
I was hoping somebody caught it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Falcons.
Right.
All right. Anyway, we really should close out.
No, I was just gonna say the tie is gonna be Carolina because Mayfield can't beat Kyler and we can't beat the Panthers, right?
I hope not. I'm gonna be.
I love that. Hey, if it's a tie, you're gonna get extra football for free. So fuck it. There you go. Hey Joe, I can always speak for us and just me in general, but I 100% appreciate you jumping on, man. I know we all love all the content you're providing. Everyone who's listening, we're gonna repost this tomorrow, so everyone who can't tune in right now can tune in. But you are you make us all more knowledgeable. I feel like I know a lot about the Cardinals growing up, just being, a lifetime fan. But listening to you and even these, breakdowns on this cornerback we just signed and the stuff that you can break down, I'm always thinking, like, how the fuck did he look that up? How did he know that? Like, so thank you. Like, as part of a, Arizona Cardinal community, you make us smarter. And I'm really grateful to have you on. So thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Mac. I mean, I've had a blast. You guys are a lot of fun, and thank you for all the kind words. That means a lot. I sincerely appreciate that. I love being part of this community. YouTube and being able to feel connected to Cardinals fans down here in Southwest Georgia has brought me a lot of joy, and getting to connect and meet cool people like you and Mac, is no one caught that. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Joe, it's me, Jackie. I love your content.
Right. No, but
Sorry, Jackie.
Getting to meet cool people like you all and hang out and just get to, cut it up and talk Cardinals. I mean, that, for me, this is just a pure joy. So thank you. Sincerely, it's been just a blast hanging out with you guys.
Problem, man. Loved having you on. We really should close out though.
Wait, you don't want a 4-hour podcast?
Will, goddamn.
I've got homework.
Your wrestling's on tape delay. We get it.
No, I got homework.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just pump ourselves one more time. Everyone will say where they can find our content at or where they can find us at, and then we'll give it a goodbye. So Will, let's kick it off.
My name is Willie. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
And my name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is 2 O's, the newest writer for AZ Sports Underground. And I will also be joining Joe after the Cardinals games.
I can't wait. I just want to say, Joe has talked me off the ledge on some of these losses, especially last year. So for you to be able to join that and be able to, that's super exciting. We love it, Jackie.
Thank you.
You are amazing. Keep going. Sky's the limit for you, girl. I'm Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZ Sports Fiend. That's FIEN. And then this year, I am just starting up with the Fantasy Football Network. I'm going to be covering all things Arizona Cardinals week to week. I'm going to post a 3 to 5 minute video each week. Just kind of going through. I'm in 6 fantasy football leagues, and so I'm going to go through. Obviously, you're probably thinking, okay, Kyler Murray's a must start. What the fuck are you going to tell me? But we're going to talk about must starts every week. We're going to talk about flex options every week. I am an independent defensive player league that I'm in 2 of them actually, but one of them has 8 defensive starters. So I'm going to go through the Cardinals roster defensively as well as dynasty options, who are rising, who are falling on both defensive and dynasty options. So please follow me. It's really on Instagram. It's the Fantasy Football Network. I just started an Instagram this week. It's all ALL AZ Cards FFN. That's a thing on Instagram. So if you want to follow me there, I got 15 followers or something. But I'll be posting a video a week, and I appreciate it. Love you guys. Joe?
All right, I guess I'm next. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at JOKOMO13. That's JoKomo13. You can find me on YouTube, The Cardinal Rule. And you can, check out, I'm going to be doing a post game with obviously Jackie and Evan Barley. We're going to be doing post game live streams after every game on the Cardinal Rule. So you can check us out there and come, talk about how awesome the Cardinals are, or maybe I can talk you off the ledge if they lose. And of course you can find me as well as Jackie at azsportsunderground.com, where we cover mostly Cardinals right now, but we cover all Arizona sports. It's a new website. I do some writing there. Jackie's doing writing. We've got 8 or 9 great folks doing writing with us. So definitely check out the site. We're very proud of what we're doing there and the content we're putting out there. So yeah, follow me on all those places and go Cards.
Thank you again, Joe. You're fucking amazing. We love it.
Yeah,
thank you for dropping a couple F-bombs too, opening it up. I know some of your listeners, I believe that was, what'd you say, Brian was listening?
Yeah.
That's just a different side. And if you guys like kind of what you heard here, we love trying to get on new guests and try to be uncensored a little bit. We want to make it feel like a bar room style. We're kind of here just kind of sipping beers, drinking with our buddies and stuff. And we love having you guys listen, comment, everything. I don't think we've ever asked for a upvote or anything like that. But if you guys would, we would love it. I know we've been doing it for a couple of years and we don't have as great of a following. But if you guys could and you liked what you guys kind of heard, and definitely follow us on any platforms. I know we probably all follow back. So love you guys. Go Cardinals.
And this has been the Redbird Redzone podcast, a Max Hall production. This is it for the night. Peace out.